One, two, one, two, one, two. Get up in here. Get up in here. It's Friday. Good Friday. Good Friday. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Sorry for the delay. Sorry for the delay. You smoking bum, but today is the official day. Ohio is officially a weed state. Yeah, man. Ohio, the 30 days has passed. We are officially a weed state. So wherever you at, if you got your card, if you got your, saying disbursement bearings together, just get a corner somewhere and take a big fat one and smoke it today. All right, man. I mean, I'm still indifferent about it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some ulterior motive to the passing of that law. But we're not going to get into politics today. We're just going to say good morning to you. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'd like to say good morning to. Um, let me address this really quick because I didn't want to do it while um, I had those guests on the line. There was a particular troll, and if I see him again today, I'll go ahead and X him out. I don't even want to give that person energy, but I was saying before there's echo. Um, I was saying before we got on air, when you're headed toward a certain direction, you're going to get certain type of weird energy. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's from the people that are very close to you. And I was telling Tim today that whether it's family members, close friends, and things of that nature. Good morning, sweetheart. Thank you so much for checking in. I know you already shared it. When you are heading toward a trajectory, right? You'll grab all sorts of weird energy because sometimes people only love you to where you're palatable or manageable. Once you become out of reach and they can't control a dynamic, then you'll start to see weird things happening. So that's why I made the post today. You have to guard your season. You have to guard your energy. You have to guard your goals because people will have one perception of you. But then once you start heading down a certain direction, then, things start getting weird, So the person that was on the check-in for Dr. West and Kim, it was rude. And I tried to ignore it, but I'll say this. It's going to keep going this way. It's no matter what you try to do, it's going to keep going this way. I've already put this in my mind. I've already seen winning in my mind for not only Good Life Russ, not only Walli, the Bird Plug, but myself and the enterprises that we have going on. And I'm telling you, we have had a good pod week this week. Man, shout out to DJ Hollywood. His birthday is in 2 days. DJ Hollywood is the original. Everybody gives props to DJ Kool Herc when it comes to this hip hop thing, but DJ Hollywood was the first rapper from Harlem, USA, and I was privileged to interview him. He's been my uncle for many years, and he's given me great games. So when you see me tearing down any place that I DJ at and I sing, that's all DJ Hollywood, man. So I appreciate him for just even taking the time out to, talk to one of his proteges, and you were able to witness live the stories that he was able to tell as far as him starting a phenomenon that is now a $1 billion industry. And the only thing that I say is, and before we get into Tim, is that it's heartbreaking that only Snoop Dogg acknowledges that. A lot of people from the East Coast and New York City do not acknowledge DJ Hollywood for his contribution to rap music. As Russell Simmons told y'all on many documentaries, DJ Hollywood was the reason that rap records had to get made. The people that you benefit from today, it all starts from that tree. It starts from DJ Hollywood to the Cold Crush to Run DMC to Jay-Z to the people that you are hearing right now, J. Cole's and everybody. You all owe that man his respect. And that's why Snoop Dogg brought him out to Yankee Stadium to get his props, 50,000 people, but I want him to get his money. Pay that man his money for what he is owed and due. So again, a great weekend of potting. My man is in the building. Good Life is here. Walli is here as well. But I had to do that rant real quick because, man, that what God has for you, it is for you. Nothing can stop it. Nothing can hinder that. So, you know what I'm saying? If I see you on this check-in today, you already know you're getting blocked. We good, man. What's going on, Tim?
Vibing. How y'all feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm real good.
That's good. Yeah, it was a great week for me. I I wanted to inform everybody too, as far as the legalization in Ohio, it's just legal to carry. It's not legal to purchase recreationally yet. You still need a medical card. They working on passing that bill now, but even then, it'll take 90 days to go into place.
So I can't go down the street with a big spliff on my mouth?
Yeah, you can have it. You can't smoke in public, though.
I can't smoke in public.
You can't smoke in your car, obviously not government buildings. But you can have it. Like, if you get pulled over with it, they're not going to take it from you.
So since we're legal now, so, I mean, I wonder if jobs are still giving piss tests.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something else they're working into the law, how they're going to deal with people who have marijuana crimes already, who are in jail right now, because they're supposed to be setting up attorneys as well, so those people can get counsel and get released immediately.
Because, you know, you get a lot of parole violations, you know what I'm saying? And, you know,
but that's
how people cope.
But that's why the country does it the way they do it. That's how we get caught up, because there's state law and there's federal law, and they rarely align with each other. So depending on where you are committing the crime could be totally different if you were somewhere else committing the crime, which is silly. But yeah, this definitely are things. I don't follow the law. I don't vote. But you still need to know the law. You still need to study these laws. You do. Sometimes you need to look in on these conferences they be having just to hear what they talking about. Right. I keep up with all that stuff.
That's what's funny, because Chris Rock had a skit about that. He said, you know, police and law enforcement automatically think that black people are supposed to know the law. You know what I'm saying? Because anytime you get ready to do something, an old black man will be like, gotta get you 2 to 4. Yeah. Gotta get you 5 to 10.
That's that fear. They think we're so afraid of what will happen. But nah, y'all didn't get to know us at home. We're some little rebels. So yeah, today, I like that you brought up the spousal competition. We could definitely talk about that, because I just feel like that's multifaceted. There's a lot of different aspects of spousal competition.
Can we start at the root, though? Can we start at the root? Because let's start at the keyword root, validation, right? Mm-hmm. Validation can be a hell of a drug, but everybody needs it, right? Even when you water that plant, even when you water that tree, that's validation. You exist. You need water to grow. So we do need praise, love. We need attention. So attention is not a bad thing. If you're selling a product, you need that marketing. The marketing is to bring attention to that particular product or service. So that's validating. So when you try my product and you say, Delayne, this is good, what are you doing? You're validating me, right? But validation can become a drug. Just like any natural drug that's supposed to cure you, it can become out of control.
Well, it's because of the hormones that's released when you feel that.
Okay.
That's why. So it's part of us. It's a part of our natural makeup. So when someone affirms you, there is all the hormones are being released and oxytocin. So your body goes through a chemical reaction to
endorphins.
Endorphins to how you feel.
Sure.
From someone
good.
affirming you. So I think that too, when I was doing it in my relationship, when I was doing it in my relationship,
we're gonna get you a holder.
When I was doing it in my relationship, it was more so like it felt good to make someone else feel good. Yeah. It was like, man, how does it feel to be thinking about somebody while I'm out throughout my day and I'm planning all this shit for them, and I get to surprise them. I get to do whatever, because I do it. I have not as much, but when I'm surprised with certain things. At me, and if I'm surprised with certain things, it's amazing. Like I feel great. So I think it's like you said, it's multiple facets to the word, because then it was competitions within other people, like trying to compete with other couples.
Yeah, right.
So it's that part. So it's a play on words.
For me, and I definitely agree. Everyone needs validation, and I don't think that's where most people's issue is needing validation or understanding they need validation. I think a lot of people are trying to pick their validation. They're trying to pick the people that validate them. They want to pick the people that celebrate them. They want to pick who they receive gifts from. And I think, like famously said, a lot of people are blocking their blessings. Blessings are all around. I hate that people act like blessings just come crumbs and shit. Blessings are the whole bakery. You feel me? And the workers. And their expertise over the years, the fact that they've been baking since they were 3. All of this is a blessing. It goes into you eating that one piece of cake. And you're like, oh, it'll make you feel better about your day. But most people don't think about what that person had to go through to make that cake. Mm-hmm. So this is how they block their blessings. So now they're so angry about the blessings they aren't receiving. They walking down the street and Delayne's like, yo, you look nice. Yeah, so? All right, my bad. Yeah. That was your blessing. You know what I mean? So sometimes we're missing out on the validation because we don't know how to receive it. We weren't taught how to be loved. We were just taught to love. Love this person into the marriage. Love this person into loving you back. Love them into security. But nobody ever sat and taught us this is how you receive love. This is what love sometimes looks like. Because we have this fantastical idea of what love is. A lot of people do. You know what I mean? But what makes me a poet and what makes me an artist is most love to me are like tragic stories. It's tragedy. It's not like everybody got what they wanted at the end. It's like everybody learned this shouldn't be about what you think you should be getting.
Let's take the biblical term for a second, because again, until I became a spiritually aware and enlightened and awakened, right, I was just religious. Now I'm spiritually awakened. So, but I still take a lot of biblical terms and use it for my.
It's a good book.
Thank you.
Yeah,
but
it's a history book.
It's not necessarily a history book. It's just concepts I think that get us on a moral road, right? But I don't necessarily look at it as history book, but it's just a moral compass, right?
Okay.
So the Bible says, "No greater love hath no man than this, that one would lay down his life for his friend," right? So it's not necessarily literal lay down. I mean, even though, they compare that to Jesus, sacrificing his life for us, but the actual sacrifice is I'm thinking less of myself.
Yeah.
I am so much thinking less of myself. Now, of course, self-love is that, when you sacrifice for yourself, you have to move everything out of the way to deal with what's going on inside of you. But when I love you, I'm removing myself at this point. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your need is, I'm going to meet that need or try to meet that need. I'm not going to be your God, or I'm not going to be your peon or nothing like that. But let me try my very best to meet that need. Now, once I don't try to learn you, or once I study you, but I want to love you the way that I want to love you, but then you tell me, hey, this is how I like to be loved. You know what I'm saying? Once you put that ego in the way, that's no longer love, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I've communicated with you. No, I understand you're trying, but this is how I want to be loved. You know what I'm saying? So I think the minute that you don't even try to understand that, that's ego to me. You know what I'm saying?
I can see that side. I can see that for sure. I would say, to me, and it's very simplistic, but I would say love would be the presence of us not even having to go through that interaction with each other. That would be true love. But if we can even look for a crossroad, a way out, I don't think this is love. Yeah, I think a lot of people are infatuated with each other, and it's so deep. They think it's love, but to me, love is kind.
Yeah.
Love is unforgiving. You know what I mean? Like, love is these things. I wouldn't want to be at odds with somebody I love. It doesn't matter what you did. If I can even use what you did as an excuse to be upset, it's not real love. But if I can overlook, that's why I say a parent and child's love is the only unconditional love there is.
But somebody also said love is natural. So when you constantly have to work, is that really love? You know,
right. I agree.
It's like when you're like you said before we get on the air, when you're constantly going through the same things over and over and over again, and there's a constant clash in personality, there's a constant clash in this. Is that really love?
Yeah, because I think
it feels like tolerance.
Right, I think
it feels like tolerance, right?
I think it puts a person into check why they how is it that you can bring your energy to say that you love someone, but yet and still you're taking this type of forceful energy with them every time. Like you have this type of stance at every step of the way. Well, it's
you really, gotta watch what you say.
Well, it points the finger back on itself.
Right.
Because how can I say that I love someone, but now I am bringing this animosity. I am bringing this type of energy towards them. I can't really say that I even love them because I don't love self.
Exactly.
That's pointing back to self that I'm bringing this into the situation. So I think that being in a spousal wanting to ante up on the deal of after so many things have happened and not seeing that same in return, not seeing like the scale balancing out. It's like I'm weighing it down with all of this love. I'm pouring in love and not receiving anything. And then in return, I'm not loving myself.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because I won't say his name because I love him to death. You know what I'm saying? But I'll call him Uncle So-and-so. And Uncle So-and-so, he has, a wife. She's so outspoken. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes on the verge of rudeness. And one day I just asked him, I was like, Uncle So-and-so, I mean, you love Auntie. You don't get mad when she do this, when she get mad. He said, man, she just being her. And just so much level of understanding of this person that where I couldn't deal with it. But I'm like, Uncle so and so, you. He was like, man, I already know what to do in that situation. And that right there was like, oh, he loved her. Yeah. He loved her because, you know, a person of my, you know what I'm saying, caliber, I'm like, there's no way I put up with that shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But not only does he know how to navigate around it, he understands her. So how he responds to her, and she gets him too. You know what I'm saying? So even though she's, you know, rude at times and may embarrass him or whatever, she'll still come back and make it all better.
It's what we call, like, your example is what we call giving grace. Like, he gives her grace. And this is what shows, like, this is why love is so complicated. Because one person could pick out one of these episodes and say, I'm going to go work on my relationship. But love is everything we've been talking about in this entire show. Every single relationship. Yeah. From grace to respect to honor to self-love. And this is what's bringing the void out. But this is what has to happen. This is why you have to start getting uncomfortable with your healing. Because a lot of people are being exposed. The more we get rich people, the more we get couples goals, the more we get people healing themselves. The people who haven't been working on those things are being exposed. Exactly. The relationships who've been hiding behind the title, behind the ring, behind the house, behind the car, getting exposed. Yeah. And it's the relationships we love the most because those are the ones that's going to teach us the lesson. The universe is saying, this is how you are going to learn. Will Smith and Jada. This is how you gonna learn.
So listen, Dr. Listen Jones.
J. Cole had to switch his lyrics up. Shout out to Dr. Can't even call them couple goals. This is how deep it had to get because we all need to wake up. We all been asleep for a long time.
Shout out to Dr. Listen Jones because she posed a question. If you know, do you allow your spouse to, you know, view superstars or, you know, things that they like on and either like the picture, or do you allow your spouse to Google over, you know, somebody that's unattainable or, you know, something like that? Or do you allow your spouse to go to strip clubs? So it was an encompassing thing. Mm-hmm. And is that cheating, so to speak, if you entertain just looking at X, Y, and Z? And I said, you know, everything starts in the mind first, right? Yeah. Everything starts in the mind. So if you do have to look, you know, so for beauty elsewhere, if you do have to look for, you know, stimulation elsewhere, that's a reflection of something that's going on in a relationship. Absolutely. That's not there. But I said, we try to put passes in for everything.
Oh, it's annoying.
We try to make passes for everything. And I just like, this is why the relationships aren't as strong. Yeah. Because we make so many passes.
And we have universal terms. I hate that people act like cheating is this universal thing. Like, cheating is breaking the dynamic of your boundary. Right. Breaking y'all's contract. Exactly. If we both work together and I'm keeping money from him but keeping product from her, I'm cheating them in both ways. You can't just say cheating like it's one thing. Exactly. It depends on whatever y'all's dynamic is. But like you said earlier, see, this is where people are going wrong. That's them still seeking that validation. Are you not cheating on me? Because cheating on me will make me think maybe I'm just not enough, or I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not as funny as they are, or I'm not as successful as they are. They're trying to equate it. It's apples and oranges.
And it's control.
Some people just cheat. Some people just cheat.
Because I'm like this.
It's control. Like, people want to.
I need to know what you're doing.
Right. Like, at the end of the day, if you're choosing me, and like you said, we have a statement on what we're doing with one another. It's not based on your relationship or the couple before us or our past one.
Or your grandparents.
Or some other person who's successful too. It's none of that. It's based on us, what we set down. And so based on our rules and our guidelines, are we cheating based on the system we put in place? And am I trying to, I don't know what just happened here.
I think you froze.
And I said something about my Wi-Fi connection. Am I trying to control? Am I trying to control you? Like, you got to be only with me. You can't look at these other pictures. Man, you got eyes to see. You got eyes to see. You got ears to hear. You know what I'm saying? You have body.
So what if you start lusting over them pictures?
That talks about the person that you are. That ain't got nothing to do with me and who I am. At the end of the day, if I'm going to be me and secure in me, not based on how, sometimes it's going to be based on how you act and treat me in public. Because you might, like, I literally dealt with a situation where a person that I was in a relationship with just would gawk over women. Like, it was one thing to be like, man, she got a banging body. Her body's amazing. It's dope or whatever. but he would like almost undress her and taste her down the street, like past me, like in my presence. Mm-hmm. And I told much to the point where I was like, "Yo, are you realizing that you're doing this? This is a little bit annoying. Like it's makes me. Oh, I didn't know. Can you? I didn't know then what I know now.
Girls are savage.
I didn't know. I didn't know then what I know now. So,
but what if the guy's just like that?
What? No, I'm saying if he is, it's like.
No, I'm saying the shoe on the other foot. Can a woman love a guy like that? No. In your opinion? No, I'm just asking because I'm curious.
No. I mean, I did.
Oh, so you didn't have no issue with it?
That's the person I ended up marrying. Like I did have an issue with, but I think at the end of the day, I didn't know myself. So I think it turned. It still went back to my like. Okay, again, I'm dealing and making room for something that's making me uncomfortable.
Gotcha.
Right.
Because I appreciate everything else, but it's like I didn't have to go through that, but because I was like not trying to be jealous or not trying to be like competition.
And with the minute you try not to be, you're lying to yourself.
Yes, exactly.
So because you're trying to overpower like this doesn't bother me. No, admit that it bothers you. And if you can have a healthy conversation, the same flip side. God has made our African American sisters very curvy and very well made, right?
Wow, wow. To remind us of God, by the way, let me not leave that out.
So there are times when they go out and they wear maybe things that are revealing, and that can make their spouse uncomfortable, so to speak. But are you dressing to grab this validation? Let's go back to the key word today, validation, because you'll see a lot of times women do find themselves in a dark place, and once they do, that's when you get the selfies and then these going up, and what I'm saying, just the selfies, trying to show off their body, what I'm saying, trying to get validation either on social media or at the club, what I'm saying, something like that, because like you said, you're feeling deficient in your relationship. So therefore, okay, I'm going to go get this validation at the gas station. I'm going to go get this validation at the carrier. I'm going to go get this validation on social media at the club because I'm feeling deficient myself. So what part is respecting your man at that point? Or what part is, what I'm saying, it just being natural that I feel like dressing this way. I feel sexy this way. I feel cute. And please be willing to chime in, everybody. I'm reading the comments right now. We do got some comments. Thank you so much, babe, for telling everybody to share a lot. Please, we want your input about that because there are some women out there who don't look for validation. It's just the way that they dress.
I'm gonna call I think it is.
Oh, shit. Here
but
we go.
And again, I don't always. There's always two sides. There's things that we created, and then there's things that we're responsible for. And not everything we created we're responsible for. So and forth. They exchange. But I think it has to do with this societal mindset, and I've been hearing it since I was a kid, and it makes me cringe even then. Like something that happened to a woman, and she'll like, let's say her husband divorces her, and they'll be like, well, at least she still looks good. Like I'm sure she's fine, and I'm just like, come again?
Right.
What is how you look on the outside got to do with what you dealing with on the? It has nothing to do. Well, they're smiling, so everything's all right. Like. Hell no. And I think that was the association that got with women. Like, well, as long as you look good, you'll feel good. And then y'all start associating like the nails, the makeup, the weave with therapy. With that, now we got retail therapy.
It's literally
these things are man-made. These things are poisonous. Like I don't believe in these concepts. I don't believe in it. Because when I feel good, I'm gonna look good no matter what I look like.
Exactly.
It got to a point. Anytime I usid to see like somebody was in a relationship, next thing as soon as I start seeing them beach photos and they vacation, I'm like,
well, she got a
validation.
She bounced back from that
relationship. You need validation.
No, she dated three times. Baby still hurting. Like
you need
that. You still see it, and that's what I'm saying. Like, but again, these are societal norms. These are things for generations they have been pushing on little girls, and they've been telling them like getting them. So then you got all these girls who don't feel they look good at all. So what about them? They don't get to be good at all? Yeah. Or do they got to dress like somebody else? Do they got to make up their whole face? Do they got to dress more revealing? Because at the end of the day, like I validate myself. I never needed, because men have the same issues. I used to tell the men this all the time. The women that you put on like the True Religion for the $2,000 fits and you done went and maxed out your card at the bar. I just had to wear some slides, a book bag, and a white tee like I was a school kid.
Bruh.
My outfit was $15, but I knew how to talk to people. I knew how to approach women. You know what I mean? While Alicia got her books, I'm gonna come help you with your books. I ain't gonna be like, yeah, let me pay for your day. Like, nah, I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna get to know you. Like, yo, what was your childhood like? You dig what I'm saying?
To your point, shout out to my man Miguel who does bartend at Bentley's. He bartends at the Social Club, and he's a very personable person. I call him Mr. Personality because while he's bartending behind the back, he's throwing it behind his back, and he's putting on the show. And I said, and I just I gave him his props from one brother to another. I gave him his flowers, right? I said, man, I like your style, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't be in here really trying to get on the women like that. I said, you just really provide a service. He was like, my personality comes from, he said, I don't have a big ass. He said, I'm competing with the other bartenders, the bottle girls and stuff. He said, I don't have this Coca-Cola bottle shape or nothing like that. I got to make my money how I make it. You know what I'm saying? He said, a lot of these, dudes come in here, they want to overgas these girls up and doing all this stuff like that because they got their ass out and their titties out and whatever like that. He said, I validate me. So before I come into work, I'm already giving myself a pep talk that I'm gonna get this many tips, I'm gonna get this many. And like you said, he has to win with his personality because he's a guy. We have it so hard out here because we can't throw on a two-piece and get all this validation.
That's where the gray sweatpants came in. That's what they've been doing. Like, men have tried to find a way to do the same thing.
That's matching energy.
But I disagree. I think that leads to the men's double standard because some men were just putting sweatpants on and were blessed.
Sure, but I'm
not trying. You get what I'm saying? I'm not trying to broadcast what I have. I'm just getting dressed. So for a lot of men, yes, I definitely see your point. But for some of them, the black sheep, we get over-sexualized because we're funny, because we're tall, because we're big. Women just want to cuddle with you. They don't want to love you. Women don't know our problems. You just gotta fight them. They look at you like a piece of meat. Walli. They don't know what I like. I like big boys. Like, girl, get out of here. I got a family at home. Get out of here.
Tim is wild. Can you read some of the comments for me, Walli?
Dirty sometimes. How these women look at me.
Oh my word. So,
Mario said everyone has their own definition of love. What is the same is that each person is able to show love in a way that every other person can see it and know it.
I love that. And that's something that fits to me with the validation. Like, something that is good for you, we're talking about love, loving yourself. Something that is good for you is not going to harm you. And the parts of you that you think is harming you is in your mind. But then your outward projection is showing you this is not a good thing for you. So yeah, it feels cute getting dolled up and going to the gas station and get that attention. But then me, Delayne, and Walli got to get on Facebook to you complaining about all the men who are aggressive and just keep calling out to you because you're half naked. They don't have the self-control I have. You can't expect the next man to be who your man is. You dig? You can only accept that person. But men out there, some men are going to catcall. Y'all are hack. And women are dressing.
And let me speak
wearing underwear outside.
Right,
like, come on.
So on both ends. So I want to say that I think that you're going to get catcalls regardless, based on the energy you carry and based on the person that you're encountering. So that's one thing I had to realize, because there was times where I was big and pregnant, or I was dressed way down, and I'm still like, dude, like, I'm sweating and I smell like crap right now. No, why are you trying to talk to me? Like, I would feel even disrespected that you're trying to talk to me in this state of mind. Like, you look like you halfway decent, and I look like I just crawled out of a trash can, and you really trying to holler at me. And on a great day, I do look amazing. But no, I'm not trying to be seen today.
Right,
it's not carrying the not being seen energy, but they can still feel what's on the inside. Like, they still pick up on that too. Like, and then, like I said, it's based on their own thirst and hunger.
Because I'm gonna add to that. Because what you just said brought up a very good point that I want to make. And this is why I think this issue of women is self-inflicted. Because I get what you're saying. I don't feel like I want to be seen today. And pregnant women are beautiful. Like, you're carrying life. Men love that. Yeah. See, this is the issue. Women think men love all the extra shit. We didn't ask for that.
Right.
What man ever asked his woman to put a weave on?
Right.
What man ever asked a woman to get her lash done, to get her nails done? Y'all did these things saying, well, men are going to love these, but y'all really wanted to do it for yourself. This is what I mean. love does not have to lie. If you really love this, you can be honest about it. But if you even got to tell a white lie, you might not love it as much as you, because who are you lying to? You're trying to convince me or you?
Right. So I want to go back to Wallisha's point. It's a difference because the universe even tells us, dress your best, look your best, feel your best, because that's our high vibration. So that's a difference between, that and knowing that, let me put on this bathing suit and take a picture so I can get validation. Or let me find the tightest thing in my closet so somebody can say, ooh, shawty, you know what I'm saying? You looking good today. So there's a difference because one operates from a low vibration and the other one, operates from a high vibration. When we put on our suit, you know what I'm saying? I mean, from one compliment to another. When you went to Black Excellence, I said, okay, I see Tim with the white tux, but it's the way you was moving and operating. I seen some of the videos. I said, Tim in that tux is a different Tim than the Tim that comes in on this show. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting regular Tim, but this is Black Excellence Tim. And he don't need validation. He just put on his Sunday best and stepped out in Black Excellence. So it's a difference because you're trying to achieve something when you're putting on your high vibration clothes and you're getting your energy up and all that stuff like that. But the one that says, Tim was like, man, I want to attract some chicks today. Let me put on these gray sweatpants so I can show my manhood and get some attention.
I feel like what you're saying though, because I disagree wholeheartedly, but I feel like what you're saying is the programming. Like that white tux is a monkey suit to me. Like for me at the Excellence, I was in show mode. When I'm in show mode, I'm caring about selling books, networking, vibing, and I'm gonna blend in. I'm gonna dress the part, you know what I mean? But I rarely wear a tux, maybe once or twice a year, because this is the problem. I think this is what has separated humanity from the fact, we can read the Bible, but we really don't interpret the Bible. Like Jesus' Sunday best was a potato sack. He didn't have no suit. Where was Jesus' suit? Suit is another way of the program and a white person saying this is professionalism. Yes. Why can't this be professional? Right. Why can't I go make $1 million in this? P. Diddy does. Jay-Z does. Master P does. Yo Gotti does. Do I need to keep going on? No. And these are the people running the world right now. Suits aren't running the world. I don't like suits.
Let's have a conversation.
I like feeling comfortable.
Go ahead,
I was
Walli.
going to add the two comments that I was going to read next go in with what you're saying. Like it kind of ties in because one person says, I just try to dress respectful of my husband. I feel like I represent him well when I'm out. And then another person said, I dress to respect myself because I believe that is what my husband wants. So again, it starts with self. Yeah. Like at the end of the day, what we don't talk about enough is that when they talk about two becoming one, it talks about representing the other person when you're out and about. Like, okay, and that's more than one way to talk. That's connected with the cheating. It's connected with the clothing. So again, if you're representing our family when you leave the house, you're not representing with somebody else unless that's the setup we have. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. Unless that's what a part of our boundaries and our setup. You're not representing us in a certain way, and then unless you're cheating the system. Right. So, and that's what clothing, that's what everything. So if you see me walk out the house looking skimpy, I'm going out with my ladies and I'm gonna be covered and I'm gonna have a dope ass time and it's ladies' night. Ain't no other stuff. That. And you trust me because that's the type of relationship. If you going out with your fellas and y'all going wherever, spending dollars or whatever, and you dress a certain way, I know that you're like you said, you're putting on for the situation, like playing a part type of situation.
Yeah. So which there's nothing wrong with.
Shout out to the women that are like that. Let me applaud them real quick. Yeah. Shout out to the men that represent their wives no matter what situation that they are in. Now, let's go to the caveat. You have so many married people out here that need validation. So they don't really feel like they're going to step out and have, cheat on, physically cheat, but they need the validation. You just wonder like, man, that person's not acting like they in a relationship. That person, and that saddens me because like you said, when you're in a relationship, I shout out to all and my significant other is one of those people, when she goes out with her girls, that's what she says. She was like, baby, I'm representing you tonight. Yeah. And we good. we good. But when I see so many married people and people that are in relationships and they talking to this one and talking to that one just to get and when you ask them, because like me, I make a personal pact. If we in my manosphere, if you're in my manosphere circle and you're with a significant other, or you're married, The minute I see you cheat on that person, I'm out.
Yeah,
we're done.
I ain't gonna be able to trust you no more.
We're done.
And this is to me where all of this stems from. Again, life is about duality. It's about understanding both sides. It is not about picking this side to condemn the other. You know what I mean? I don't beef with bald guys because I got locks. Like this is not how life works. So this is the magic. What I dismiss doesn't apply to the whole world. You know what I mean? But my journey is my own. And a lot of people get into relationships to find themselves. Mm-hmm. You've already failed that person. You got to start identifying yourself before you're even ready to be with somebody else, because you have to know what type of person you are. You dig what I mean? Suits aren't the end of the world, but I know my capacity because I've been a kid before. Mm-hmm. I didn't care for it. I knew I didn't care for it. So I never pretend. But I prepared myself to have to know how to tie a tie, put one on in case I did. And then we got my neighbor. Some of my closest homies, they probably wear suits 5 times out the week.
About to argue. Watch this.
You know what I mean? They wear suits 5 times out the week. They do this. They got the monocle. They got the little, but you think what I mean? They do it. So for me, I just never been the type of person to engage in something that I feel like I can't do. Like if I got to go to Shots and Things to get the suit last minute, I don't do this. These cats already got 5 suits.
That's not what I'm talking about, Tim. So check this out. You know what I mean? Mean to tell me, Tim, good life for us. You mean to tell me when you don't get that fresh retwist and you don't get that edge up and you don't get that line up, you don't feel better? No. You don't feel that energy rise? Come on, Tim.
Ask somebody last time they see me in a barbershop.
What tell you what you about to do? You don't feel
What have you ever seen my hairline?
Tim, that's cat.
But again, I understand because, okay, so over the summer, I met a
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
And he was saying, he was like, I don't believe in the whole makeup, the push of fashion, the way that, because it takes away from our original identity. We use all of these other things to enhance us and make us something else. And it's based on everything else that we've seen. It's not really based on like, oh, I had a dream and I wanted to do this hair color and I wanted to paint my eyes like this and that and the other. They see something and we mimic these things over and over and over again to enhance. It's just for enhancement and so many different ways. But I understand where you're coming from. And so I'm in that bubble now because I didn't cut my hair for the first time.
But you grew yourself so well.
See, but that's another person's perception. That don't mean she feels that. It's still a hurdle.
I just still had to put it on the table. You know, you know me. Tim, you know me by now. You know me by now. I'm gonna poke holes in the theory.
Right? I didn't have to like actually be concerned about my hair or actually put in my hands. My locks, I can just get up and go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right, but now
but there's still some sort of.
But I have to do it, and so what I'm saying is that I understand because it's an extra pressure and stress that you apply to stuff based on the eye gate.
Yeah.
And it's based on my perception first, but then also it's still based on the perception of everybody else around me, and I want to come out of that. So it's not.
So two things can be right. Let's go back. 2 things can be right.
Right.
I already understood Tim, right? Because I know Tim, and I know he is one of the freest guys, and this is what I admire about Tim. But this is my brother, but I still think it's cat because when Tim gets that fresh whatever, and I've seen it, you know what I'm saying?
Once every 6 months.
I mean, but if that's the case, think about health and body. I think that people find a way, whether it's how they make their clothes fit, whether women are wearing things that tighten up their belly. So people have found a way to cope with the things that don't make them feel good about it. It's still an insecurity within self. It's like, I don't feel secure enough to let my belly hang out. So I wrap it up and do X, Y, and Z. So I think that one is Michael Jackson was right. It starts with the man in the mirror. Like you have to start with yourself. You gotta be the one to look in the mirror and be like, okay, so am I okay with this? Right. Am I okay with how this lays to the side? Am I okay with, with this? How do I feel? Like, because then when you get in people's presence, these are the things that you've already kind of taken inventory of, and they're going to bring awareness to you.
And I like what Amar Rose said, priority, right? So let me give you my example. I love sneakers. I've loved sneakers since I was 13 years old. And I mean, really love them. I'm not a sneakerhead, but I love sneakers. But the minute I decided to pursue this dream of mine, this dream behind this microphone that we're all doing right here, I've had to sacrifice for at least the better of 10 years of as far as the sneakers that I wanted, the sneakers that I was willing to buy. Now, of course, when I get some money, you know, we going to revert back to certain things. But during this 10 years, there's been a growth. So they're not as important to me. Mm-hmm. You know, they're not as, oh, if they catch me with, you know what I'm saying, my shoes creased or, you know, my I don't care anymore. You know what I'm saying? So the growth happened because I've had to go without for so long. And like Amar said, I prioritize what I want for real. You know what I'm saying? Because those sneakers were validation for me in the hood. Oh, you got on the new J's. Oh, what's that? And it was a level of respect for me. You know what I'm saying? If I got on some crispy pair of Adidas. So I loved that validation. I'm not going to lie to you. I loved it. Yeah. But when you grow and you want something else, you kind of let go of certain things and you grow. You know
for me, I had everything I could have possibly wanted. You know what I mean? And the best thing I did with those is I was aware at the time. So I was starting to realize the separation in things. And a lot of people's excitement was behind, they didn't do this often. So when you're on those yachts, you're on those boats, the motherfuckers ain't popping bottles and partying. They be on Facebook because they on a yacht 5 times a week. This is their life. Yeah. But to the person who vacations 1 time a year, this is the greatest thing that ever happened. So the yacht is not the fun. You're just inexperienced. So that's what I learned in life. And then I've moved in life. I've had to start over in life. Like usually when I used to switch apartments, like I would just leave everything in the apartment and get new stuff. Like, because when I first started learning humility, like it made no sense to me to see how people live, but they're like, oh, I got a charity and I help kids in Africa. And I'm like, the way you live, there's no way. Right. So I had to understand what humility really was. And humility is not wanting for anything. I don't want for anything. I shop at the thrift store. Again, ask people that see me every day. Listen, I shop at the thrift store. I don't have nothing that I own one article of clothing that's over $100. Like, all of my clothes you see I make, I will go get the materials I make. That's most of the clothes in my closet. I don't own expensive jeans. I don't own designer shoes. This is my jewelry. Like, this is really my life. You know what I mean?
Someone said, what helps make you feel better? I guess that was related to
so outside of like looking good, feeling good. Right. What helps me feel better is knowing I did a good job. You know what I mean? What my middle school coach used to say is no matter if you have a good game or a bad game, leave it all on the floor. You can't take none of it home with you. Leave it all on the floor. If you're going to dive for that ball, dive head first. You're going to help your mans up, help your mans up. You know what I mean? You're going to foul hard. You dig? So I live my life to the fullest in every moment. So I give myself validation because then this frees people around me trying to give me validation and feeling like, oh, yeah, people need validation. So let me try to give that to you. So my love for you is I'm going to give you a day off. You don't have to assume with me. You don't have to second guess with me. You don't got to watch your back. You don't got to worry for me to send some hate mail to you. You dig? Right. Like,
so the comments is getting good, y'all. Y'all is in the comments. Yeah. Back and forth. Okay, so somebody said, I believe that your clothes don't make your vibration. And then someone else said, representation also shows the level of love and respect for yourself and who you're with exactly. And then one more thing. I feel like my personality overpowers any clothing that I have on.
I like that. Too, yeah. So what I'm gonna add to the first one is that's the epitome of why I do what I do. And this does feed back into Delayne's 2 things can be true. Because you can assume someone's doing something for a certain reason and they're doing it for a whole completely different reason. So why I feel my hair is because the people who do my hair. I only go through my hair through locticians. I won't let nobody with bad energy. I come into your shop, you gossiping, you not touching my hair. I live my life 100% intentionally. So I'd be more impressed by the people who've been doing my hair lately because they're new at it. So now I'm helping you embark on a new journey that's exciting. The people I deal with make clothes. So when I'm wearing clothes, I'm wearing my man's brand the same way somebody's like, oh, I got this Sean John shirt. I'm like, I got my homie shirt. You dig? So these are the things that make me feel good. I am genuinely a good person. I try to take care of the environment. I try to do my part. This is the thing. But when you live in a wicked life, you're going to try to distract yourself with all these things that temporarily make you feel good. Because again, you're trying to simulate balance. Exactly. Winning is a mentality. Winning is a consistency. Winning is a habit. You can't just win. If you're a winner, you always
It's win. A culture. It's a culture. I think this is becoming a habit right now. We're going to go to Cat Williams' motivational quotes.
Oh, that's my guy.
fucking selfish. How you feel about you, simple bitch? I'm telling you, you got to be the shit to you. Stop waiting on a nigga to verify whether you the shit or not. Bitch, if you the shit, you the motherfucking shit. We tired of y'all getting with us and blaming us for shit we ain't even in control of. You done got with a nigga, now you talking about, you fucked up my self-esteem. Bitch, it's called self-esteem.
I love Cat.
Why was that right
I
on
don't
point?
trust people that don't like Cat Williams.
Why was that right on point for this next comment? Amar said, so if you give your own self-validation all of the time, what would be the point of having a significant other, honey? Let me tell you.
Yeah, that's
we're not in a relationship for a.
Yeah.
So. And I get this.
That's a really good question.
Yeah, I get this because this is the way that we've been raised. We haven't been raised to understand that two is better than one. You know, like all of the African proverbs that points to why we join together, why we match up, why we connect, why we befriend, why we do life with a partner, right? It's all of these other things, the stereotypical things. It's not about building for the future. It's not about longevity. It's not about legacy. You know, that's what partnership is about. That's what having a significant other is about. It's not about identifying or validating yourself. That's something you do with yourself. You wake up every day and you get validation on life because you woke up.
Right.
Right. And then you do other things
to add to that.
And this person that's next to you, that's fighting through life with you and living through life with you, they got their own set of self-validation that they have to walk through. I'm sorry, I'm getting loud.
No, you're fine.
Because
this is because you're on point. Her question is very valid because these are the type of questions we have to ask ourselves to get to the type of conclusions I get to. I've asked myself these questions. You know, we can't just skip ahead in any part of life. Sure. We got to address every single thing intentionally. So the reason we do it is, for me, it's simple. It's to create memories. You know what I mean? Life is long. Life is vast. Life is hard. So I do things intentionally so then it comes back on my family tenfold. Yes. I get together with guys like Delayne, so when I'm not here for whatever reason, me and Walli could be doing missionaries in Africa. Yeah. I know my kids are good. They need $10. They know the car on the way. Yeah. Right. They car break down. He the first one on the side of the road before AAA. Yeah. This is why we have relationships. It's because I can still be humble and secure, but feel like I'm powerful and mighty, but I'm still secure. I need people. There's people that do things I can't do. So if I was just trying to get done what I needed done, I would be done with life. We would have no reason to live. I get it. You know, if you were done, what are you doing here? But I'm always living because everything we embark on is a new journey. By us starting that little garden patch, this is a whole new lifetime we started. By us starting to paint together, this is a whole new lifetime we started. So if I've already lived multiple lifetimes by myself, imagine what I can do with just one more person. And let's say we got kids. Yeah. Now it's 5 of us. Now, and they got friends. They got other siblings. Now it's 10 of us. You know, imagine what we can get done and how many people we can help. So, it's cool for me to come into the world and say, I want to help people. Let me bake some bread. But imagine what all of us can do together.
That's why I love that meme that goes around and says, men need women people, and women need men. Stop the weird shit. Because I love that meme so much is because we don't have to, reduce women to domestic. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that just really saddens me because there were powerful rulers in the Bible, women rulers. You know what I'm saying? That ruled well their countries well. What's the one that Rakim always wears all the time? She's a African ruler. I'm gonna think of it in a minute. Somebody knows who I'm talking about. Rakim used to wear it all the time, but she was a prominent African ruler. I think they're coming out with a movie.
Was it Nefertiti?
Nefertiti. I think it was Nefertiti.
Shout out to her.
Nefertiti. So, we always want to reduce, women to domestic, but we always, think men can't be emotionally intelligent as well, right? So both sides are wrong. Right. 100%. So once women understand that men do have emotional intelligence and there needs to be some sort of emotional expression, and you can't define that emotional expression. Once men do realize that women aren't made for just sex, cooking, and
protecting
and childbearing, right? You know what I'm saying? We'll start to really hear each other out. You know what I'm saying? And I've always been you know, an advocate for ceasing this war, right? But I don't want it at the expense of emasculating men.
Yeah.
And exploiting women. You know what I'm saying? I want us to honor each other on all facets.
And I feel like what's happening right now is it's so powerful and it's taking us so long to do because it's spiritual warfare. Like we're hurting on a spiritual level. And I say that, and that's not men or women, that's everybody. And what's happening is a lot of people are trying to find religion and spirituality, but they're questioning God. You dig what I'm saying? Right. When you ask why something's not in the world, you're questioning God. You're questioning the universe. The universe will not design this in a way that would be flawed or that would not work. But everyone still has to do their part.
Right.
So imagine trying to do your job when you just button heads with the manager all day. Y'all ain't gonna, neither one of y'all gonna get much done. Exactly. You dig what I'm saying? So a lot of us we gotta pick a lane spiritually. That's gonna start helping with our, you know what I mean, healing. And pick a lane is not be religious or spiritual. It's either you're gonna believe in God, or you're gonna submit to the will of God, or you're gonna be atheist. And you're not gonna believe God exists at all. But you gotta pick a lane. A lot of people are trying to live in that middle. Some things God do, well, I don't like. But again, this was that association with religion. I think we talked about this last week. I talked about this on another show. Like women were coming out saying like, oh yeah, you said it too. Like I had a better relationship with my pastor than I did my husband. Yeah. So these are the same things that are happening spiritually. When you question God, you're going to question your man. You're going to question your woman. Well, maybe everything Walli's saying ain't right. You know what I mean? God did make it rain yesterday and I needed sunshine. Like you start living a certain way. These decisions are pushing you. So the reason I live free is because I don't want to be pushed by anything. I don't want to be controlled by anything. Because then I have no power. So it's hard to validate myself if I'm giving someone else my power. See, these things go in order. You get what I'm saying? I stack these things on. This is why I do it. It's because I've gotten so, like Nipsey said, you've gotten so far into where you're going. Why turn around? You might as well keep going.
Right. And I think it was Felicia Rashad that said, and it was so dope, how she said, I validate myself. So anything my husband gives me is extra.
Yeah.
Anything my kids give me is extra. I'm gonna clap for Felicia Rashad.
Yeah, it's a good.
Anything that you give me on top of it. So it all starts with me. The root of validation starts with me. So basically, again, going back to what Tim said, if it starts with you, now you have the power to validate me. And I don't want you to have that power. Yeah. So anything that you give me, hey, so sometimes we look at people as condescending or conceited when, you know, say, good book, Tim. I know. You know what I'm saying? But I get it, though. I get it because what Tim is saying is, no, I'm not being conceited. It's like, no, I validated me first. You know what I'm saying? But thank you. I appreciate it. You know,
bringing it to my attention. Did you think I didn't know?
Talking about validation today, people.
That I'm starting to validate it myself. So now people are, oh, you're pretty or you're beautiful. And I'm like, I'm not used to hearing that. But then again, I started looking in the mirror. I started affirming myself and saying, no, you are beautiful. You are pretty. Like, you are supposed to be here.
And this is why we all need each other. This is why I definitely got to read this because this was powerful.
Let's go.
While he's pulling that up,
let's go.
Have it right away.
Yeah. It's a post. So there was a post that I shared. And this is what I mean. Like, this is the epitome of how we should be living our lives forward. So it said, these are the signs of a high vibration. People stare at you frequently. Kids like you. Mm-hmm. Animals feel safe around you. Strangers tell you their life stories. Rooms energy shift when you walk in. You irritate toxic people by just being authentic. And people envy you and you don't know why.
Let's talk about it. Yeah. Let's go in.
So these are all the signs, you know what I mean, of a high vibration. This is why I learn so much. This is why I'm able to tap into these things because I love kids. I'm around kids all the time. And the kids, and we watch, I've been putting my girl on the kids cooking shows because I love it. They go hard. But if you ever see them get down, you'll see them literally talk themselves through it. Like, come on, you got this. That's how I live life. Like, sometimes you just got to talk yourself through it. You got to do it anyways. But we get so, as the older we get so separated from the children and we aren't learning from them anymore.
Right.
And they have so much to teach us. And this is why I say I'm secure because I don't have to give all the glory to myself. I've had mentors. I've had coaches. I've had bad relationships. I've had parents. I got siblings. I've had so many people teach me in my life. I would be remiss to get up and start rapping and say, did it on my own. Like,
No.
Far from the truth. So this is why I can live like this, because I live my truth. I need people. I don't want people to think I don't need them just because I'm bettering myself. Mm-hmm. I'm bettering myself for you. And not because you're going to directly feel from this. I'm giving you an example. So to those 10 people that said you couldn't, I'm the one showing you, yes, you can.
Yeah. Yeah, and going back to 2 points. Going back to the kids, you know, my significant other, they have a lot of children in their family.
Yeah.
But I draw from them because, you know, when I'm around adults, we are faced with all these biases, with all these prejudices and stuff like that. And that can draw my energy, especially, you know, but kids just have this natural, and especially like you said, when you have a clean spirit. And you know, sometimes I wonder, like, you don't know me from Adam, but you love me, like,
yeah,
dang, that's
come up and hug you.
That's crazy.
That's so
like,
awkward. I love it. I'm like, okay.
Like,
okay, they on something.
Yeah, I got a little nephew Miles, man. He literally lights up the room, and I just like, man, come here, dude. I need your energy. You know what I'm saying? And then like the other side, the last caveat, we can talk all the points, but one of those is that, you know, I didn't post what I posted this morning to brag or anything like that. I said, please be mindful when you come into season. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to have more than somebody. You don't have to be broadcasting what's happening, but people can feel like, and they're watching like, what's getting ready to happen with him. You know what I'm saying? And they start moving weird. I just be like, yeah, you know, I mean, I'm just living life. I mean, the things that I've worked for and I've asked God for, they're manifesting and they're going to manifest. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, you shouldn't use that as a way to like look at me strange. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So sometimes I find myself having to tiptoe and be silent and just say, God, just manifest through me. You know what I'm saying?
All week was hibernation for me, like pouring into self. I did some projects at home. I got some recording done. Like I said, my birthday really was like, I wanted to celebrate alone. I didn't really want to give energy to anybody else. I mean, I did on the show, but I was like, you know, I got some things I need to hear and listen in on. Like, I'm like too far in the game to be just doing this the same way I have been doing it all this time. Mm-hmm. And let's do this a different way. Let's really take all the energy normally be giving out to everybody, going from bar to bar and partying and cake and ice. Let's just be silent and be the self for a minute so I can hear and do things differently. And this comment kind of goes.
Yeah. I love how you keep going back to that. Hey, A1 for Walli. Get these people involved up in here.
We here. And so someone said, back to the whole relationship thing, they said, random question. Is being clingy toxic, unhealthy? As a believer of the word that tells us to cling to one another in a marriage, but it seems as though society doesn't make it as if it's okay to do so. Mm-hmm. And another person says spirituality needs to be the basis of all things. And I guess I would chime in to say that, man, a lot of these things that we're asking, when you ask yourself a question, it starts with self. Like, right, you're asking yourself, is it clingy? Because for one person, it may not be.
That was my response.
For one person, it may not be toxic. Like, did they do everything that they set out to do? Were they productive? And then they went into a mode where they just, you know, needed a body to...
Yeah, they wanted companionship.
Or replenishing, too, the energy that they've given out. Like, sometimes I just need to be held because I've been out, you know, talking to teen mothers and people that's going through some toxic, crazy stuff themselves. And now I'm depleted, you know. I need somebody to hold me, or I need somebody to pour into me, type of thing. I think that I feel like the clinginess is attached to control. And I think that in relationships, my past relationships, it's been common to try to control people and how they move and how they think, or control how they treat me or how much time they give me. And so I think that when you're entering into a relationship and you're asking yourself these questions, am I being clingy and is it unhealthy? Have you been unhealthy? Do you not get up and go to the bathroom? Are you not eating? Are you not doing your other things that you need to do because you're more concerned with being underneath a person? Then that's a little bit unhealthy because you got shit to do. So
I'll give. Go ahead. I was gonna say I'll give a man's perspective, but not all male.
I'm just gonna do a quote. a quote.
Go ahead.
Because this is a quote that's been said.
That was a good question, though.
Through all my uncles, and it's been passed down as a white side. Or you need to know this. It says, "A scared man can't bet and a jealous man can't work."
Oh, sure.
You know what I'm
that,
saying?
yeah.
Scared man can't bet and a jealous man can't work, which means that you, in so many words, you can't control what you can't control.
Yeah, and you shouldn't be trying to. I feel like this is why we gotta apply KYP in the beginning. You gotta know your personnel. You gotta know who you're dealing with. Because like she said, to some people it is, to some people it ain't. I'll give a man's perspective. Not all males, but a lot will agree. I don't mind a clingy person. I don't think a lot of men mind a clingy woman. We want you to be able to know when I need my space.
Ooh,
you can't be clingy all the time.
That.
So if it's the 90%, sure. You want to hang from me while I'm on the game. You want to come sit next to me while I'm watching the movie.
Oh, that clingy.
That is clingy.
I don't. On the game and he doing
she's interrupting you, but if she just wants to be near you.
But this is where again we gotta remember duality. Words are not good or bad. We assign emotions to them. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you say things like clingy, it sounds bad. A person will be like, "Yeah, I'm right." But no, I don't mind that. You know what I mean? I just need you to know. You need to learn me. You need to know when to feel me when like, okay, he needs a minute, or there has to be boundaries. If I'm on a work call, I don't want you hanging. I don't want to do that.
Clingy to me is like, yo, I'm going to play basketball with the fellas. Can I come? Why? For what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that's clingy.
I got to go to work.
But again, this is to each perspective. But for me, I don't think that's clingy. Clingy to me, clingy is to me.
Clinging to the person.
Yeah, like
you
you're
want to be
in my
you want to be space all the time. So it's like, if this guy's not out, what would you want to come for? You know,
sometimes women want to see what we do out.
Yeah, I don't mind. I want to just be in the atmosphere. I don't want to be at home.
I don't really have guys night out, so I'm not qualified.
You're going out with the fellas.
Yeah, let me come out hang with y'all. The place we did before we got more food.
I can agree with the basketball
because I ain't about to hang out
but
with y'all.
hanging out, no.
I ain't about to.
Yeah, I'm not going to hang out.
I can play basketball with the boys.
I'm not about to. Because
we can play one-on-one together. We don't need guys.
Me being and hearing a woman's conversation is already going to annoy me. I'm just sorry because you know it's
they talk different.
They talk different than we do, so it's automatically going to annoy me.
And see, now we talk about.
So I don't want to hang out with you.
So guys that want to hang around you and your women.
Oh, that's a red flag.
That's a red flag.
Yeah, I don't want to hang out.
Most times he's plotting on them friends.
And then
or he want to be
we don't work out.
Or he want to be one of them friends.
Yeah. Nice heels she got on. Y'all crazy. but I think it's so
red flag for I think for women that want to, like you said, come and hang out with somebody go.
Yeah.
Come and hang out with you and your homeboy.
And can you read the comment she said what matters to one person? Because I think that this fits into everything we're saying too. I think it was Amara. It was the last one I saw.
Oh, wait, no?
No?
I see.
She said something to what matters to one person might not matter to the other. Like somebody might want to go fishing.
That may be
okay, it was on my screen. But I'm gonna respond to that. Like this fits into what we were talking about as far as this fits into. Go ahead and read it.
It said what matters to one person doesn't matter as much to the next. Like someone would rather go fishing every day versus playing some ball, but neither person are wrong.
Yeah, and I agree. And this is the epitome of what we're talking about when we say love. So when we come to that conclusion, there should be no bicker, no argument. This is what I mean by a winning attitude, a winning mentality. We've already made time to do both. I'm going to come to you with that. Like, oh, look, I don't feel like we spending time lately. You know, you got this going on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right, bet. Well, I'm going to go play ball on Tuesday. We go fishing on Thursday. See, this is what I mean by people block their blessings. Nah, that still ain't good enough for me. See, I'm trying to compromise with you. Yeah. It's only so much I'm willing to bend. So then I'm going to allow you give me a plan. Do you want to switch the days? But if I see your ability to not work with me.
Come on.
You dig what I'm saying?
Preach, because now we're getting to the spousal competition. Right?
Yes.
You've been out all week. I'm going to show him. I'm gonna go out with my girls. I'm gonna punish him. I'm a tit for tat him, or I'm a tit for tat her. Dudes do it too.
So, is that love? You want to punish your partner? Is that love?
You
want to punish your partner? That don't feel like love to me.
That's not love.
I don't want to
send or prove a point. I don't like prove your point, people.
I don't like. Is this a test?
Yeah. Should I have studied?
the end of the day, everything we do is a test.
I'm a prove I'm sexy.
A set up test.
Oh, it is a test.
Yeah.
But did you give me a test you know I can fail or one you know I can pass?
Or that you want me to fail. That you try
exactly. You're trying to humble me. I humble myself, baby. I don't need to be humbled.
So I said I wouldn't say this, but the person responsible for bringing me into this world said, everybody. I mean, he almost quoted Ice Cube. Really, life is a game and everybody's playing.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So when you wake up, you decide what game you're going to play and what game you don't going to play. So a lot of people do things to see how you're going to react.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it can be a game. You know what I'm saying? Let me throw this shot out and see how this person's going to react.
That's why I say you gotta heal, because that's coming from insecurity.
Yeah.
Right, because at the end of the day, when you get a job or you get a promotion, you get anything that you've been really waiting on, you've been working towards, you feel it.
Yeah.
Like, man, this is it. Like, I finally struck gold. Like they didn't call me back. Like,
this ain't no fire drill. This the real thing.
This is the real thing. It's the same with finding a partner. So all of these reservations that I've had for all these other men was because they were not him. If I still got reservations for you and I'm still second guessing myself, I either got some deep healing that I have to do with self, or you ain't the person. Like it should be a smooth connection. It should be like magnetic. It should be like
feel like soulmates.
Puzzles being put together. Like literally, that's what it is.
That's why, like when I'm out, you know what I'm saying? I'm a DJ. Everybody knows that. You know, and there's some women that knew me, you know what I'm saying, when I was single, they're like, you still single? Yeah. You in love? Damn right. I'm never gonna put you in a position to one up mine. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm gonna protect mine.
So wait. What you mean? Like what the way you answer the question? I want to know. I'm trying to hit the game. I'm trying to understand what you're saying. So
absolutely. So when they're fishing, to see if, because you know, women and men fish. You know what I'm saying? You tell me you're
still with such and such.
You still with such and such.
Oh yeah. Your little girlfriend.
You like you're damn right. We still together. Because people
still got that kid together.
But guess what? The wolf, whether man or female, they're looking to see if you need validation.
They're looking for that chink in the armor.
They're looking at chink in the armor to see,
where can I get in?
It's trouble in paradise. So once you start
smiling
too much.
This is why you living in the laws of attraction, you know what I mean, and you healing and being on your higher self, you'll see through that a mile away. Before you got out of bed this morning, I knew what you was about to do at 10 p.m. tonight.
And see, that's why.
And it still ain't going.
It was like, okay, this is all on me because I have been attracting a certain type of thing because I wasn't completely healing the parts of me that needed to be healed. So all of these people that was pretending,
they slipping through the cracks.
Exactly. I still was attracting them. You know what I'm saying? Like I still was allowing you to be in close proximity with me to even try to fool me. Like but it's practice. Like I'm practicing.
Oh yeah, and that's
all my gifts.
And that's what keeps you. I was gonna say that's what keeps you in that winning mentality because you're never losing, even if this isn't the right person. They may have taught you how to do your laundry better. They may have taught you how to do your taxes. You can still take this to your person. Exactly. So none of these are wasted steps if you're actually looking for your person. But that's why I tell people, you have to want me to be with me. You can't just want to be in a relationship because you can go do that with anybody. Yeah. You got to want me. Because then it'll fix a lot of the problems we have. Oh, I don't like what he does. Oh, he snores. You'll be able to ignore that kind of stuff. But the fact that these are the things tripping, because again, I've done therapy with couples. Like, these are the things tripping people up. She spends too much money. I don't like his relationship with his mom. Stuff like that. Like, y'all should address this during the dating stage. Y'all are married.
But here's what I was saying. And please let me define this. This is why I don't buy that friendliness shit. I'm just being friendly. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, no.
I don't buy that.
We don't need no new friends.
You know, because at the end of the day, I know a friendly conversation if I'm talking to Walli or if I'm talking to Miss Pam. Miss Pam, how you doing today? Oh, good. Everything's good. You know, friendliness is like, you look nice today. You know what I'm saying? And then they're probing. And like I said, you can feel the energy. Women have been getting hit on since they've been 8 years old.
Oh, for sure.
So they know when somebody is trying to step to them. So when a woman tells me I'm just being friendly, get out of here with that shit.
Yeah,
because,
cool.
You say that, and I thought about the message I sent y'all yesterday. I was like, oh shit, like you know, it's different. But y'all came on my heart, and I was like, we got the show tomorrow. You know, I'm thinking about the show, put that out there. But still, even for me, I'm learning how to like. I gotta tiptoe around too. I have to be gentle and careful because I have a lot of male friends.
a lot of male friends. And I used to tell them, I'm like, listen, I would be out at places and I would see them and be so excited to be engaged with them or to see them, haven't seen them in years, not knowing that they had a person, or it didn't even matter because we didn't know each other like that. I got a lot of brothers, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that just cover me in that way. And so, yeah, I was like,
it's all the what energy.
Y'all gotta cover me. Yeah, like, y'all gotta cover me. Let your woman know that I'm your little sister, because you know it's a lot of daggers on my back. Because but then I had to learn, like, okay, let me not just even say nothing. So I would see people and get a text later, like, I don't care who I'm with, like, don't be in the same spot with me and not come and say hi. And I'm like, I'm trying to learn how to be respectful because it's so much of, even if I'm coming in love, like, damn, I've been knowing you for like over 20 years. I've been seeing you, and I come and see you. Right. And now we greet each other, and your female feels a certain type of way.
But here's the thing.
You did, like,
I used to say, keep the devil out of I keep the devil out of my house in a very insecure way, in a very unhealthy way. I say I keep the devil out, and I used to do these practices to keep the devil out of my household. Now it's healthy, right? Because now it's like, I release what could happen. I release it. I release all of that. So now I'm no longer insecure. So now if Walli texts me, hey, babe, Walli texts me, or my phone is open, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. The minute that relationship becomes vague, or like you said, I'll ask you a question and you're not giving me certain details, and I can feel like you're not giving me certain details, I'm checking out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow. But if we're in a relationship and you have to be vague and you can't give me some details, or if I just feel like you're holding something from me, bruh, we're not in a relationship at this point. You're single. And you're just operating as
these things are the natural occurrences of what I feel like love would do. Love would reassure you.
Yes.
So when people are seeking that reassurance in their relationship, it might not be the relationship with you, or this isn't the time for y'all. The universe didn't decide for y'all to get together right now. Y'all trying to do y'all's own thing. And I only flow with the universe. You know what I mean? These are a lot of reasons people don't understand. It took me out of the church. It wasn't just the people. It wasn't about just what the Bible was saying. This is a place with no boundaries. Yeah. I've broken up with people I used to go to church with just because every time the pastor come talk to her, he got his hand on her shoulder. And this is acceptable in here. I'm the only one that feels awkward about this. Yo, it's your dad. Like, remove your hand, bro. I will smack your hand away. Like, you don't know me. I don't. This is why I don't go to those type of places. This is why I stopped attracting that, because I was going to church. I was praying every day. I was involved. You attract these type of people. Most Christian women say, I'm looking for a Christian man. You know what I mean? So I became spiritual. I started attracting different things.
And that's where the most subliminal seduction happens, is in the church. Man. The most subliminal seduction you'll ever run into is them church people, because they'll mask it like it's all in love.
God knows my heart.
It's all in love and stuff like that, man. I don't deal with it.
I don't play like that.
Me neither.
Before I go to these comments, they prey on single Black women.
Yeah.
They prey on single Black women. They prey on the minds. They make you feel this way. And as far as if you have children outside of wedlock and that whole mental mindset fuck thing, like that's a mind fuck, right?
Yeah.
Because to make you feel like you committed this ultimate sin by giving life, doing what we were supposed to do, doing the one thing you know you was created to do. And then they demonize it because in the act of how it happened, rather than teaching you about the anatomy, teaching you about how these organs work and how life happens. But they just want to teach you that they want to, really control your mind over how you choose to engage in sex. And I had a situation actually at the church that I went to where, and I didn't know it was a situation, right? Until it became a situation. Yeah. Until way later. And so I remember this one time I had to be like 22, 23. And the relationship that I was in with the person, we lived together. And somehow the pastor found out. And I was working, in the daycare. And he approaches me in the hallway, dark hallway, early in the morning, probably like, people are not even in there. It's like me and another person in there and him. He said, it's come to my attention that you live with your person. And I was like, yeah, what business is it to you?
Yeah, well, rent, what's up?
Got some furniture?
Right.
So,
I'm listening.
So what is it to you? Yeah. He said, well, we just do things by the Bible. we don't approve no shack, and I can't have you working with the staff's children and you're living with your boyfriend. So you have to choose. Mind you, I don't know nothing about legal. I don't know that you can't do this shit to me. You cannot do this.
Yeah.
What you're doing is against the law on so many levels. But literally cornered me and said that I can come up with a plan to either get married or find somewhere for him to go for 6 months until we get married. But I had to come up with a plan that he had to leave like immediately, or I was going to lose my. And this was not like the exact words he said. Now, mind you, I'm young. I don't know my rights. I don't know that this is inappropriate as hell. First of all, for you to be my boss, bringing me in a dark hallway.
Yeah.
You know, talking to me while I'm on the clock. All of this shit is off the chain.
Gangster stuff.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, not gangster.
But real quick,
but let me, I gotta finish this. Not gangster. That's pimp 101.
Yeah.
Pastors are the biggest validation pimps out there.
And the crazy thing was, I used it, and he at the church we went to, we did this like a Wizard of Oz, like by the Wiz series, where he was teaching from the Wiz and each character. So we were doing these dances, you know, some dance team and stuff. So, but we used that story as a testimony. And I still was underneath the gauze. Like I still was in the dark about what happened. I gave it as a testimony to set me free from this relationship. I gave that story that this man had me in the corner and gave me an ultimatum, and set me free from this person that I was not supposed to be in
your house. And
what's funny is, like you said, they prey on, I wouldn't even call it weak, just the women who need validation. So when you hear these sermons, and you know, I'll tell you an example, but you know, they'll get up on that pulpit. You got all these kids, and you need your bills is due, and you know, things that pimps do, break you down to build you up. But I got a plan for you if you come on down, and
only they can help,
and only they're good. And so and it's so sad because you know, it's either they're giving up the money or they're giving up the cheeks.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the example I was going to say is a friend of mine. She walked in to a church, and you know, she had her kids with her, and so you know, she's an attractive girl or whatever. And the pastor, as soon as she walked in and sat down, he was like, "I think I found my wife tonight." And she just looked, and he was looking dead at her. She looked at him. She's like, "Come on, kids, let's go." It was like, I'm not with the manipulation. No, I don't need to be validated. I don't need my esteem. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
I've seen the magic of these pastors and how they've used it in church. I mean, I went to ministry school, so I was deep, heavy in studying and being there all the time when the doors was open, or being at all these other churches and going to these other functions. So I've seen certain things. I just wasn't aware of what I was seeing. I thought that, you know, oh, this is the way that everybody's acting. This is No, you don't. You just things that you should not do. Like I can remember one time, the pastor said something like, you know, it was a situation with big women, but your wife is big, sitting right behind you.
He was talking to her.
You got a big ass woman right there, and you talk about big. We don't do big women. Your wife is big, sir. Yeah. She's not like medium big. She's on the heavier end of it. Right. And you're sitting here to your congregation talking about what women you like and don't like. Nigga, you married with a white race.
Yeah. But these are the things I feel that help for the competition. This is what keeps us competing at home, because we have so many voices going into our house.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, again, I don't want us to fall into these gender roles, right? Because if baby girl need to go out and hustle for whatever because I'm sick or down or whatever, I'm not gonna be intimidated by that. Right. If baby girl's, you know, gets that promotion, and next thing you know, she making 6 figures, and I'm still hanging in the 70 mark, we all eating.
Right. You know? The intimidation comes from outside. So that's why that's still, all of these things are still based on individuality and your personal boundaries within your relationship. So so that talks about the one-upping and that, my wife has to go work versus me being at home with the kids. That's y'all. That's how y'all run y'all. That is like the best fit for y'all. Yeah. Like you're the best person to be at home with the children in y'all scenario. And she got a job that's easy peasy where she can make 6 figures. Yes, that's a win. Like literally in my marriage, we had wins like that. It's just, it wasn't enough energy from both of us to propel on it. Like,
you know what the auto suggestion is in a lot of our minds is the toxic masculinity and the the women empowerment, the toxic women empowerment. So
I mean, but that just became a thing.
So like the color purple, the color purple is a perfect example. You know, the dad, you finally humanize Mister when the dad comes in like, you gonna let that woman run you? You gonna let that woman walk all over you, this, that, and the other, because we have this toxic masculinity. You're supposed to be here, and we're supposed to be here. So that's the toxic masculinity. But then you have in the color purple as well, when Suge and Celie finally get they bearings together and like, we're not gonna let no man do X, Y, Z. So now you got these independent women, but now with the absence of a man, you know what I'm saying? You got Mr. all off in the field because of his toxic rhetoric. All through the years, he's by himself. So now you got two separate dynamics going on, and neither one of them is conducive for the togetherness of men and women. You know what I'm saying?
I hate that movie with a passion. Like literally, I hate that that's the staple that we stand on as a Black community.
It's sad.
It's very sad, and I think that it was especially sad when it's like the movies that we say, oh, that you'll have your Black card revoked from. Like, this is a traumatic ass movie. I have to watch this to get the Black card. Like, to be fully Black, I got to go through this and be subjected to you telling me that this is the truth for me and my people and past and present. No, I don't want that. Mm-hmm. And so I think that it's all around unfortunate because it's still in your household. Like, if I choose to cut the grass, I can't allow what the whole world says about women cutting the grass to affect how we move here.
Right.
So it's that simple. If you're washing dishes, you have to be man enough to wash these damn dishes and not be like, oh, well, the fellas at the bar said, wash the damn dishes, dude. If that's the energy you're gonna bring into the household, then do you like bring in these positive energy and allow these people. My in-laws used to say something, and he used to grind my gears when they used to say it, but it makes a lot of sense. Like, you run your business and allow other people to run their mouth. It's that simple. Mm-hmm. We're running business here. You run your mouth. So you can have all the opinions that you want, because guess what? You're a human and you're entitled to all of them. You can have every opinion that you want. Oh, she cut her hair because of this, or she went to Africa because of that. Have all the opinions, baby, because listen, that fuel, that energy that you're putting out with my name on it is still going to filter to me, and I can choose to use it to do something great with it. Like, you're still choosing to give me energy. Right. And I can stay focused on what are people going to think? Or what are people going to say? Or guess what? They're going to say something. They're going to think, but what do I think? What do I say is louder and bigger than with and that's in any situation. So that's even with the coupling thing. That's even, like I said, like the one-upping thing. Like, that's in any situation. We have to take that stance on. People are going to have their opinions and are going to be talking. And sometimes I'm so in tune. Sometimes their voices come louder. I have to speak. I got to speak out loud. I got to talk to myself because I can hear the voices of other people and what they're saying or thinking. So I have to be like, okay, well, forget what you're saying. This is where I'm at, and this is where it is.
And I want to be validated as a man to take correction from my woman or a woman I respect. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, we look at correction as, oh, she trying to do this or she trying to do that. And correction is just correction. You know what I'm saying? If I, going back to that word love, if I love you and I see you going down the wrong direction or you're not handling something properly, I shouldn't be looking at it as like, oh, you just trying to be this and that and the other. It's like, let me ponder that for a second. Mm-hmm. Let me think about that. Okay, I'll get back to you. You know what I'm saying? I think that's healthy. You know what I'm saying? But when you're confident in who you are, but men are so trying to dominate all the time and all this, that, and the other. It's just like, man, we don't want to hear correction from our woman. And sometimes it is delivery. It is delivery on how you get it. But I think most men who I've seen stoically handle it properly is like, okay, I'll get back to you on it.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the world we were raised in too. Like, men were raised to be dominant. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Some of these things are outside of our control. And I think this creates a lot of the disconnect. This is why a lot of people feel like what they have is not what they're looking for, because they have an idea of how much your growth will be. But the real journey is them accepting however much it is, however much you have to give today. I can't decide how great you're going to be. I can't decide how you talk. Mm-hmm. I can't decide how you look. You know what I mean? That's all the representation and broadcasting of yourself. So a lot of times we just have to accept this isn't a good situation because we're not looking for a good situation right now. This is why I live in truth. And sometimes the truth is what I'm doing is not the best thing I should be doing for myself. But instead of me trying to avoid that truth, I work with that. Why am I so comfortable with being with somebody that talks down to me? Why do I want to be in a relationship where they're here all day, but they're never, ever here? You know what I mean? Like, why am I settling for that? So these are the conversations we got to have frequently. But in my experience, a lot of people turn this off when it gets too hard or it gets too loud or it gets too noisy. You're going to do the same thing in a relationship. Like, what we do is who we are. So if it's okay for you to do it, you're going to start slacking off in your relationship in these areas. So for me, it's not a journey to why can't this other person tolerate me? It's why are you so comfortable showing up to people incomplete? Why are you so comfortable half-assing a situation that's going to take all of you? You know what I mean? So you got to stop yourself. Sometimes we wait for people to leave us or wait for people to break up to validate, okay, I wasn't ready. You know what I mean? But you got to get yourself ready and you got to decide, yo, I'm not competing in this arena. It's not for me.
I had to listen to this, and this is the last excerpt I'm going to play, but I had to listen to this over and over again to get out of a relationship. And I want to play a little bit.
Yeah, I'll rock with Eric.
You can't dangle something in front of my face that's, I don't want that. And many of you are taking anything because you don't know what you want. And so if I can do one thing for you when you leave this room, I don't want nothing from you but for you to leave this room and know what you want. What do you want in your marriage? What do you want with your son and your daughter? What do you want in your health? What do you want financially? Like, how much money do you want to make?
So the thing is like the videos, Eric Thomas,
okay.
You owe you
Motivation.
At the end of the day. So the validation is I owe me.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter how much, we've had been in the church. If I got to leave this church, I got to leave this church.
Absolutely.
I don't care how much tenure I have on this job. If I got to leave this job, I got to leave this job. I don't care how much or how many kids we have. Or, you know what I'm saying? If I got to leave this relationship, I got to leave this relationship. Whatever the situation is, I owe me. You can't give me something I don't want.
Exactly.
So you keep putting all this stuff in front of my face. I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? So when you come to the realization, like I said, I had to come to the realization, like, I don't want this. And I made that decision after that. Like, I'm out.
And that's the beauty of it, because we can make that change and that choice at any time. But therein lies the difficulty. A lot of people get in their relationships and they resonate on that base level. But what happens when you both evolve to the next level?
Mm-hmm.
Do these two get along? What happens when you both evolve a level further? Do these two get along?
Yeah.
That's love. You got to keep getting to know your partner. This is why I say I don't believe in forgiveness, because I'm not upset. Like, if I love you, I'm trying to understand why you did what you did. Denzel Washington said this perfectly. This fits into exactly what's going on. A lot of times we'll just look at someone and we'll say, you're the monster, but you don't know how they got here. So he said, let me ask you a question. Is the sheep a problem because the sheep gets tired of the wolf coming into his pen? So now the sheep retaliate, they jump the wolf, and you gonna say something's wrong with the sheep? And this is what's happening to a lot of people. We're being attacked behind us, and they don't see all of that. So when we react, you the monster, you doing too much, you too loud, we don't speak our piece enough. So when we speak, you doing too much, you always got a problem, and So this is where I had to realize this isn't an opportunity for me to speak less. I have to speak up more. I have to create the tradition of me speaking up to you. I have to create the tradition of me protecting my peace. I have to create the tradition of we were good for 10 years, but you did that thing, and now I need to set these boundaries. We can start a new 10 if you want, or we had our 10 years. But we can't keep going to an 11th knowing what I know now.
Yeah.
And if you are expecting me to ignore it, it just shows you don't know me as well as I thought you knew me. And that's okay too, because I needed that information. You know what I mean? I put that on Facebook. You're not a friend if you withhold information you know I needed to know.
Yeah.
So if you know you stop rocking with me, let me know first.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you know our arrangement ain't going to work out for you no more, let me know first.
Yeah.
Because at least you give me some respect. At least you can go back into your life with your dignity. But how you treat people and in these situations, you got to slink back to your life, depressed, desperate, and now that next person gets to feel all these beautiful gifts you saved up for them because you didn't deal with it.
See, that's why I don't need validation by justification. I need validation by appreciation.
100%.
That's it.
Reciprocity.
That's
I'm not
it.
doing anything
I
in life
need
for
you to
anybody
justify
without reciprocity.
Exactly.
I never will do it again. And they did nothing wrong. They did the best thing they could do. They showed me where I have flaws. That's why I love my triggers. It shows me what I need to work on. It reminds me, yo, you human. You do mess up. Exactly. And that's funny to me. That doesn't embarrass me. That doesn't take me out of my game. I love that. Because my best moments is when I thought I was messing up and I realized, like, I'm doing some lit shit right now. Like, what am I talking about? I ain't messing up.
I had a talk with my son. This was probably about a year ago. He was like, the pressure that we put on ourselves as humans, because everybody came up with these policies and norms and classifications. Like, they created the world that we live in deeper than what, like, the natural side of it. Like, now we got to navigate based on all of these terminologies, and the terminologies affects us deeper than what we care to pay attention to. And so this comment says, as soon as I know I've gave everything I've had, I'm out. I'm cleaned out, job, church, relationship, all of it out.
Yeah. And that helps you get to that. This is the law of attraction. You'll get to that conclusion sooner if I'm going to be here to invest, or if I need to part ways. If day one, you're giving everything you got. I told you we're going to start going fishing on weekends. We're going fishing. Even though other things came up, I'm showing you I'm putting this relationship first. See, that's what a lot of people are worried about. Are they going to go do those other things? So if you're moving a certain way, you're going to get reassurance. But I've been in that relationship more times than not. I'm doing all the things, and as soon as we have an argument, oh, you don't do nothing. Oh, I'm ready to go that day.
Right.
And I tell them, you will never say that to me again. I will never, because I allowed you to do that. I put you in an opportunity where I trusted you could see what I was doing for you, because I didn't want to micromanage. I didn't want to have to point out, look, I helped you with the trash. Yeah. I did this with the, because then you're going to feel like I'm throwing what I do in your face. That's what I mean by a lot of men feel like we're in a lose-lose. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know what I mean? So, and then we always get played as, oh, he didn't know what he was doing, or he just wanted the sex anyways. Like, nah, if I'm going to take time investing, my time is very valuable. Yeah. If I give you 10 minutes of my time, you better appreciate it. My time is very valuable. What I'm saying. And I didn't have to give you that 10 minutes.
Appreciation, not justification. like you said, you know, I already know who I am as a person. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But just let me know that I'm not lifting this couch by myself. Exactly. We're both lifting the couch together.
I would have got a love seat if it was just me. I would have got the couch. You wanted the couch.
And like you said, we're not perfect people, but like you said before the cameras cut on, if we keep revisiting this, or if it's a cycle, you know what I'm saying? That's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah, because that's our pattern. Yeah. And if I'm following the tone, that's what I pay attention to. And this is what I had to explain even in my relationship, because there was things that I would talk to about people that was just heavy. And I would bring it to a relationship, and I'm like, sometimes I feel like I'm bringing heavy conversation. I'm going to chill on that. Oh, it's not heavy. You know what I mean? One can be too heavy for me. Where some people say, I'll hold 10 before it's too much. One's too heavy for me because I know it leads to 10.
Right, and that's where
I'm doing preventative loving. Yes. I'm trying to prevent you from ever getting sick. So no, we don't need to pick out the best medicines. We ain't gonna need that. You know what I mean? Like Bruce Lee says, to master technique means you need no technique at all. Yeah. We don't need these catalysts. I don't need no doctor. I don't need nobody telling me how I feel. I know me better than anybody knows me.
And that's what you gotta get to.
Period. But we have to put ourselves as that representative of our lives, and we don't. We'll go get a nutrition. We'll go get a trainer. We'll go get a life coach. You have to represent you. Yeah. You got to stand 10 toes for you. When the world's coming to get you, I can't expect my spouse to stand up for me, and I got my back to everything. I got to face it first. Yeah. I got to show them the way, and then they decide if they want to go the way. And my only journey is it to allow them to decide. Don't try to trick them. Don't try to confuse them. Allow them to decide, because then it's going to be that much better. That's how every relationship I'll ever have will go. Yeah. We could be 20 years one day you want to leave, I'll send you my blessing. And it's going to hurt. I'm not going to act like this ain't going to hurt me. We had 20 good years together, but I'm going to let you go because I don't need you thinking you're a hostage. There's no front door. I would rather a wife that chose to wake up with me this morning and felt obligated to.
Yes, better than that.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what I mean by love. You would never allow it to get to obligation. You would leave me well before it got there. Love is a tragedy. Yes. We just are so broken and so hurt. We need that good story. We need that pick me up. We need that feel good. So I put that in our lives every day. So then we don't got to go searching for it. Yeah. I give it to you. And if I can't give it to you, please let me know so then you can find a man that do. And hopefully he's some young guy I'm mentoring and he's the man for you. So then it all went full. We all won.
See, that's why communication is so important to me, because if I love you and there's an energy shift, I want to let you know it's not you.
Yeah.
I don't want you to have to guess.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If there's something bothering me, I want you to know it's not you. Because when you allow that person to, you know, have that guessing game, that's a form of sadistic hazing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, why do I have to guess what's wrong with you? And then, damn, do you even trust me enough to let me inside?
Yeah. And
you know
why
what I'm saying?
Why y'all so angry? Like, I got to that point in my relationship where I was pointing a finger at him so much that it made me just be like, okay, wait a minute, but I'm here too.
Yeah.
So, but what am I so angry about? Why am I so upset? Because every little thing that this person does is making me feel vexed. Like every single thing. You bend over and fart to the side. Yeah. I'm upset. You know, like any little thing.
If somebody else do it, it's funny. When they do it,
but I had to dive deep into stuff. It was nasty. It was ugly. But it was inside of me. Right? It was something inside. It had nothing to do with the people that was around me, even though they were affecting. It was like they was triggering it, like to get out of me. Either I was gonna allow it to rest and reside there and take home, you know, make a home there, or I was gonna do the work to get it out.
Yeah.
And so I think in relationships, first of all, again, this is like we all superheroes out here, and you're connecting to out of 8 billion people, you connecting to somebody that you want to give everything to the inside of too. So it should be a smooth sailing thing, like technology. It should match. We're computers. We should compute. We should operate with one another in harmony. Like it should not be a hard thing. So not saying it's not gonna be challenging and everything gonna be vicious, right? But like it's certain things, like I think that once you start getting in tune with stuff, you're gonna be able to feel right off, like, okay, this is off. Like, oh no, this is like because like even now, like operating individually, everything gotta line up.
Yeah.
Everything gotta line up. And if it's not lining up, you know,
it's gonna push you in the beginning. Like my favorite depiction, one of my favorite movies, but was Aladdin. Like he had to pull up on the magic carpet, like, you trust me? Because she had to take that leap of faith before we could even start anything.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are waiting till they're strong enough, till we know each other enough to go through that adversity. Nah, give me that shit on Monday so I can enjoy the weekend. Right. You dig? Like, let's do that up front. That's what love is to me. Challenge them.
And challenge, but you know, comparison is the death of that. You know what I'm saying? Esteem. It's the death of that validation. This is why I'm careful about double dating and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't like double dating.
Double dating is I don't like it because you know, you find yourself in these dynamics as this person's trying to outdo this person, and
why don't you get the check? Because I'm gonna let you get the check every time.
Why don't they perform it? You know what I'm saying? Why don't you do that to me? They perform
it. I used to see that at church. Like y'all just got done cussing each other out a couple lights ago. Y'all get out here and now y'all praising together.
Yeah.
Y'all was just cussing each other out. We saw you in the car like, yo, you cussing her out.
Keep that energy.
Or this new dynamic, this power couple bull crap. That's I mean, if you both are thriving and you can both be, you know,
I mean, I like it in that sense.
And you're both thriving, but you know, the thing is like, again, going into that competition thing, you know what I'm saying? It's like, your life is not Jay-Z and Beyonce. Your life is not Barack and Michelle or whoever it is that you're trying to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever your dynamic is, work with that, because once you have love as the focus, whatever.
I think that should be a good discussion too that's had in relationships, because I agree. Y'all are struggling in something and y'all are thriving in something. So your relationship should be with your spouse. What are we thriving in?
Are we more like Bobby and Whitney?
Are we thriving in money? Are we thriving in fun and party? Yeah. Are we thriving in substance? And like you said, love and togetherness.
Yeah.
What are our best moments? Because this is what I always challenge a relationship. This is what everyone should. Are your best moments when you're intimate? Are your best moments when y'all feel like y'all can be yourself? We can sit, have a conversation. You get me. You understand me. Because this is going to show you where the relationship is headed. This is why I always review these things. And again, we're evolving. So things change. I didn't watch the same shows last year. I didn't eat the same things. Can you love me healthy too? Because it's easy to love somebody when they're broken. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But can you love them when they're their best self? Can you love them when you don't have to correct them anymore? Because then people are hard to date.
Listen, and I'm gonna tell you, Bishop Jake said it best. He said, you know, what you attract while you're broken is going to repel you when you become well. So once you get to the person that you become, this is why, you know, my favorite saying is, you know, treat me how you would treat me once I get where I'm going.
Yes.
Because once I get where I'm going, I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're going to treat me because I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Not as the person that I am. Again, I don't need your justification.
Yeah.
I already know who I am.
Yeah.
I know where I'm going to end up. But can you love me here the same way here?
Because if you don't, I feel like you don't get me. I feel like you are basing me on my circumstances and not who I really am. You know what I mean? It fits into that quote we brought up from the movie Air with Michael Jordan and his mom. And they kept doing interviews with her and they kept asking her, like, well, at what moment did you know your son was going to be great? And she was like, I never knew. Like, he knew. But he knew so much, he convinced me. She said, I could not believe anymore. But she said from when we was broken, he only had a basket in the backyard to shoot on. He told me, like, Mom, I'm going to win championships. He's like, multiple championships. I'm going to be MVP. I'm going to have my own shoe. She was like, he always knew. So be with someone like that. Because a lot of times you are in your spouse so they can make you feel good. Because they tell that joke and it makes you laugh. They get you out of that funk. Don't be ashamed of that either. I see some people saying, I wish we had more. Nah, start to love what y'all have because the next couple don't even got that.
Right.
The next person don't even got a spouse. You know what I mean? So start loving just that little. They tell you, good morning. You know what I mean? And this is why I had to start learning to do these things. For all the times that I wasn't and they were on the way out, like, yo, you should do that. Okay, I can do it now. I'm already leaving, nigga. Just for the next woman. And I had to learn. I had to put my ego aside, like, okay, this didn't work out, but I can learn something from this. And maybe they're right. Let me try it out. And when those things start working, you start remembering your past a little differently. You remember that as a toxic relationship, but now you start to see where she was helping you learn.
Thank you for all
she was healing you.
Thank you for all
she was there for you. So now that changed my perception. Okay, I got to look at her differently while I'm with her. Yeah. We always look back and try to remember. Be present. You know what I mean? It's a quote I said, someone famous. They said, I wish we knew you were in the good old days when you were in the good old days. I wish we knew they were the good old days. Right. This is why you got to be present. This is the importance of being present.
So how do you both, find a resolution for somebody who may have depended on social media for validation or other people for validation? Now they want to empower themselves to validate themselves. What are some of the solutions?
My solution is first, you have to take a break from social media, which I already feel like everyone should be doing naturally. So maybe you need a break. And then second, you got to create a plan. You know what I mean? And I love to hear when people are saying, well, I did get this from social media. This was a good thing. Like, all right, great. So expand on that outside of social media. If it was the networking, go to events, get business cards, do face-to-face marketing instead of over email, over the phone. You can still do what you're doing just in a different capacity. It's what Meek Mill when he said it's levels. There's never just one level of anything. Right. You're just aware of one level. So we got to become present, raise our awareness. And I do that by sitting still, by meditating, by not doing nothing at all. Because sometimes our problem is we're overstimulated. We're doing too much. Like Walli said, we got all these unnatural things coming on. We live by a clock. That is not natural.
Not natural.
You know what I mean? And we're trying to become the best people that live on clocks on time ever. We're trying to be on time all the time.
That's how you go front.
That's
Listen, y'all.
Natural.
I'm sitting up here. We getting ready for the show or whatever. And Tim, Tim gonna be Tim. And it's like 10, it's like what is it, 9:17. I'm just looking at Walli. But the more I understand Tim, the more I'm like, okay, let's go. Because we have better shows that way. You know what I'm saying? When we're locked in. Because honestly, Tim, I mean, to be transparent to you guys, when I was a taskmaster, I had more turnover. I had a whole lot more turnover because it was just like, well, the people want it now, and we got to do this, and we got to follow this robotic way. And I'm looking for views. I'm looking for, when I'm going to school, I'm like, well, people want consistency and stuff like that. But what they really want is quality. Are you going to deliver? So when we do take our time and we get our energies right and we kind of understand, we feel each other out, we come on the air and we become more gel. So it makes me more relaxed.
They want our authentic selves. You know what I mean? Since I was a kid, I wanted to be who I was going to be. And I had elders saying it around me. So my grandma used to say all the time, like, you're going to be late to your own funeral. I probably am.
You want to be
exactly.
Late to, like,
So we in a spiritual sense now, we're starting to manipulate.
Adrian gotta go. Go ahead.
They're starting to manipulate. We're starting to manipulate what we thought had to happen, because that's what the real fear is. People are not scary. They put these ideas in your head that, oh, I'm not gonna get anything done if I'm late. I'm not gonna get anything done if I'm never on time. And it's easy to think like that. Like you said, it's good having a spouse because they can see you assuming and be like, this ain't about you. So that's the relationship I have with myself. I'll hear somebody walk in the room and I'm calm. I can whoop everybody ass in here. I don't need to respond to that. You looking for that reaction. Yeah. And anybody who jumps up feels like they can't. That's why they gotta respond to you. Yeah. I know what I'm capable. I don't got try me. Right. You feel me? Test me. Let's see. So I don't need to engage in those things. And this is what got me to the point of being at peace, because I realized I was so chaotic because I was responding to everything. I don't like tall niggas. I don't like niggas that don't have money. He got too many baby moms. Like, I'm responding to things that ain't none of my business. And it got me out of character. So then I realized I have no control if somebody can get me out of character. If you can decide who I'm going to be today, I have no self-control of myself. Exactly. So I can't be mad at you for giving me orders. Why am I following those orders? Right. You know what I mean? So I got here by challenging myself. That's why I challenge the relationship. I don't think anything I've done for me is too good for you. So if I'm hard on myself, I'm going to be hard on you. But when I love and praise myself, I'm going to give you that as well.
Or if you are a taskmaster, and this is just an example, you guys. If I am a taskmaster, start the show, Delayne. Tim and Walli will come in. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And we'll still get whatever we need done. So there's a lot of ways to get your point across when you're coming together for a project or a purpose. There's a lot of ways to get your point across, but I don't have to diminish these two in order to prove my point. And that's what I'm saying. And I'm trying to, and going back to, I'm gonna have Walli read Adrian's point, but a lot of times, we're not just talking about man-woman relationships. In a lot of relationships, we're always trying to prove a point. And this is what causes the resentment. This is what causes the strife. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the empathy and the understanding, you know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
So many relationships can be saved by not trying to prove a point.
Yeah.
By having understanding. Because if you can understand your own point that you're trying to prove, then the goal should be to understand what the other person is standing and how they see the world. Like, that is the biggest thing. It's not about, let me have the last word. Let me say this. No, you got to because then now you're trying to control people. We're not in relationships to control. And if you are, that's a big red flag to self that you got some healing to do.
Or the other flip side of that is like, you think you won. You think we shared that one thing. Like, sometimes life L's is really a W, and sometimes them W's is really an L. Right, you think you done read somebody, or exactly. Yeah. But now you worse on the person that you probably needed, now you built up resentment in them, and you can't get your all from them. So I've learned, before you read this, is like what I'm learning. That's why I'm loving this show, because it's like, it's not so much ignoring. I don't ignore nothing. Yeah. I don't react to everything. Exactly. I see it. I see you. I see it, but I'm not going to react. I'm just going to.
And that's you operating on multiple facets. And I do the same. And then I add in too, I become aware of how vast the world is. So I'm trying to write books. The way I'm talking to Delayne on the street, a publisher could be across the street listening, reading newspaper, and I don't even know. And they going to base on working with me simply on this interaction that I have with him. This is why my elders taught me always be kind, because you don't know who's watching and listening. Exactly. Yeah. So I take heed to that. We have to. You know what I mean? Because it's true.
Yes.
But yeah, that comment.
This persona that his life was easier than my life. When it wasn't the truth, we just had different experiences. So then,
could you go back just a little bit to start from your first point, because my speaker went out, but they said they couldn't.
Okay, sorry, yes. Okay, so you said we're back. All right. Let me remember all of that.
I'm sorry.
So what I said was, in my relationship, I had it was times where I was working on stuff with myself, and we both had come from two different backgrounds, and I was always expecting him or understanding that his background was different. So I was always comparing the fact that I had this, perceived worldly view, terrible upbringing, while he had two-parent household, kind of Americanized best upbringing, right? Which was not true, because we both dealt with just different type of adversities and different type of traumas as we were growing up. But I think that the things that we can't hear anything Walli said. Can y'all hear?
No,
now?
they can hear. That was
okay. So, but yeah, so she said it at the bottom. I just want to make sure. So they can hear. Y'all can hear?
Jesse said
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, so I think that it's important that you kind of just tap into self and what self is going through, like what you are experiencing. Like, I think your spouse can assist you. We're mirroring one another. So even though I may be going through something that's not being exposed to him on the outside, he has some challenges in some area that is being exposed to what I'm going through. So y'all still should be trying to at some point balancing out one another and helping one another. But I think that not in a comparing type of way, because his individual walk and journey, even though y'all standing and y'all doing it side by side, is still his individual journey.
I like that.
I love that.
Together. So we still got we both want to make it to the finish line, but he got to do the work for himself to make it across that line just as well as I do. Yeah. So again, it's easier to think in relationships I can pile all my shit on you and make you carry it to the finish line, but that's not realistic, and those relationships die off quickly and badly. So again, take responsibility for what you're feeling on the inside and what's ailing you, like what's vexing you, because those are the things that you shadow work. I'm looking at this thing right here, shadow work. Those are things that you have to heal from, and your partner can assist you and aid you and guide you. They just can't do the work for you.
And when you see the load is heavy, offer something. Don't just let them carry it. You know what I'm saying? That's what annoys me a lot when I see it's like, you gonna let her carry all the work, or you gonna let him carry all the work, and you not gonna. You just gonna. Well, go ahead, Tim. We got to wrap it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It sounds like in these situations, what I perceive it as is there's 3 different stages typically in a relationship, an intimate one. You're usually dating, then there's a relationship, and there's marriage. And some people get off on one stop. Some people skip all of them, friends with benefits. Some people go through all of them.
Yeah.
So what it sounds like sometimes in relationships, when I hear people speak on this, is your relationship is moving to the next level, and you're still on the level prior to. Dating is where we still consider our things separate. And in a relationship is we're finding things that we do together. And then marriage is just one.
Yes.
There is no you and I. Everything I bring to it, everything you bring to it, we have. If I bring 1 and you bring 19, we got 20. That's how I talk to people. I have 20. Not I got 1 and she got 19. You know what I mean? So sometimes that's the separation. The relationship is ready for that next step.
Right.
So we have to get ready. We can't say, no, relationship, hang on. Because sometimes that person don't hang on. They keep moving with the flow. This is why I always stay in the flow. I see something's changing. I'm like, okay, what do I need to change in me? First, let me stop doing everything I was doing. And let me reassess and realign based on what I need to do now. The relationship's having that consistently. So it's hard for y'all to do that when y'all don't talk as much. It's hard for y'all to do that when y'all don't spend time, when y'all don't know each other. That's why that's the foundation. Because then you're going to use it at these different levels, and you're going to know, okay, it's time for us to go to the next level.
Right.
Friends, we're going to marriage level. So y'all might see me even less. And you can let everyone know this because we're on this page. But what happens a lot of times is people talk to those external sources and come back and try to tell me what's going to happen internally.
Exactly.
No, that's not going to work. They're gonna fall off this journey well before I do. So if you want to follow their plan, you're gonna end up where they are. You want 10 broke friends, you're gonna be the 11th. I do what makes sense at all times. You dig what I'm saying? So this is where sometimes I think it's as simple as y'all can have a conversation about it. But for me, I always look at things as us. Yeah. So I never have competition. I never think like, oh man, she cooks better than me. Right. I think I get some good food when I get to go home.
Exactly.
You dig what I'm saying? And that's, I think, a healthier way to go about it. But I think everything can be solved with a conversation and good intentions.
Yes, healthy dialogues, y'all. We sprinkle healthy dialogues over y'all for the weekend.
Man, we're gonna swing around here. I'm gonna start and then we're gonna end early.
Taskmaster.
We're gonna end. We're gonna. It's still 11:10. But I say this.
We ate 2 hours. Oh, okay. Yeah.
To piggyback off of what Tim said, if you do the work, what's supposed to be there will remain. What's supposed to fall off. Bad example, but great example. If you watch What's Love Got to Do with It, once Tina Turner went on her journey, Ike was still acting in the jack. He was still doing everything possible, but she still stayed with the meditation. She still stayed on her journey regardless of what Ike was doing. And then it led to that infamous limo scene. Yeah. Now, it was a very bad limo scene, but the universe said, okay, enough is enough. I have to free you. And I have to do something to now push you out from that situation. So a lot of times we figure like, man, I got all these distractions. I got all these things against me. Stay with your journey. Stick with it. Stick with your meditation. Stick with your prayer. Ask God to reveal or remove it. And I promise you, the revelation will come. The removal will come. But you have to stick with your journey. That's all I got to say.
I'm going to add too, because I love when you get in on the movie references.
Yeah.
I'm going to do, I feel 100% what he's saying. You know what I mean? And my representation is the movie Enough with J-Lo. It's the same association. And a lot of times we're just living in terror and we're waiting for somebody to come save us. But what the universe is saying, like, you need to go learn how to fight. You got to tackle your problem. Ain't nobody going to come help you with this. So we got to start learning how to empower ourselves so we can get the job done.
Absolutely.
And I believe we're
going to end with the queen today. Let's go ahead.
Well, I guess the only movie I can think about is Sleeping with the Enemy. And at the end of the day, it was a lot of signs already. And again, once you find out the truth about your own personal situation, you have the choice to live the truth or continue to live the lie. So people, find out the truth and live the truth. Be the truth. Be the truth be the truth of your peace. Be the truth of your happiness. Be the truth that your family deserves. And you deserve ultimately.
Absolutely.
Nobody deserves to live a lie that you don't have to live these lies once you find out that they aren't lies.
When you're building yourself, you don't have to study separatism. You know what I'm saying? We're all saying we want to be better for ourselves to be better to who we need to be better for. So we are really promoting unity. We are really promoting, self-awareness and love. We are promoting love on this show, mental wealth, mental health, and things of that nature. So when we talk about building yourself, we're not talking about, oh, this is just for you, but this is to be a better you for everyone else. So please get that message. We thank you guys so much for tuning in to Good Life. Russ, Walli, the Bird Plug, I'm Yanchi's favorite DJ, Good Friday. Man, you guys have showed up once again, showed up and showed out. If we got somebody on check-in, hit one more like. I want to hit one more like. I know somebody's watching right now that haven't hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit one more share if we can. Get one more share. Yeah. So go ahead and hit share. Thank you. Let me give some shout outs to everybody else on the check-in. Adrian, Jessica, Trinae, let's see, Mario, Drea, Amara Rhodes. Thank you guys for your commentary. You were in these comments today, and we appreciate you encouraging more people to comment. Thank you for those 2 likes. Thank you for those 2 extra likes. We appreciate you. You don't know how much this means to us. And again, we do this each and every single week from 9 to 11. But we'll be back next week to do it all over again. God loves you, and we do too. We out of here. Peace.